Okay, so I finally did my first F45 class and I just got back about 2 hours ago. Anyways, I did the Docklands class, which absolutely destroyed me. It was all cardio, a lot of jumping. My legs could not handle it. I train mainly resistance style training, so for me, doing a lot of cardio, like, just absolutely destroyed. But I feel like if you have a strong cardio base, maybe this program wouldn't be, or this particular class wouldn't be as difficult, but for me, oh my goodness. Even when I walked in, they're like, oh, you picked a hard one to do for your very first class. And I was been so intimidated to do a class here, like so scared, so intimidating. But it was like the atmosphere was super chill, very inviting, very comfortable. I don't know, I was just like, you know, when you build something up in your mind and it make it a lot worse than it is. But anyways, Docklands, lots of jumping, lots of cardio. That was my very first class. So this is how it's gonna start off. And tomorrow I'm doing the Hollywood class, which is one of their more popular classes. So we did the West Hollywood class, which is actually not 45 minutes. It's a full hour long. You do 27 different stations, so 27 different exercises. Then you take like 30 seconds rest and you repeat it all. You do 45 seconds on, 15 seconds off. So I found this one very challenging, obviously, by the look on my face and how sweaty I am. Good morning. It is day 3 of doing F45 classes. Today, I believe it's called the Renegade. So I just got home from doing the Renegade class, and as you can see by my face, I was not really sweating a whole lot during that class. So that class was definitely more weight training, resistance, where I feel like because I do that kind of training right now, I definitely felt it was a bit easier for me, that class, in terms of like the cardio classes. All right, so we are on our way to F45 for day 4. Today's class is called MCATs. I'm not really entirely sure what it consists of, so I'll fill you guys in once I'm done the class and how it goes. My God, look at this hair, look at this hair, it is crazy. I'm really sweaty and itchy. Okay, so we just finished the MCATs. MCATs? It's kind of a weird name. MCATs workout, which is a whole lot of weights, but it's like also kind of cardio because there's a ton of volume, right? Like when you say it's just a lot of volume. Yeah. So you do 9 different exercises. Each exercise you do 3 times, and it's kind of like a drop set, so each time is less time that you do the exercise. Less time, but the same way. I'm still out of breath, but yeah, this one I would say is like a nice combination between resistance training and cardio. Like my shoulders by the end of it were just like on fire. We finished off with a 2-minute plank, which I just like died. So feeling pretty good. Alrighty, I am on my way to my 5th F45 class. Today is the Athletica class, which I guess is a whole lot of cardio. I get really scared for the cardio classes. I know I can handle the resistance training, but the cardio ones, they're very challenging, and I have to push myself to a level that is very painful. But I guess that's the point of going to these classes, is to challenge yourself, to push yourself, and to have people there that you know are going to push you as well. And just in that whole environment, you work harder because everyone's working hard. So that's what I'm really enjoying about these group fitness classes. Holy moly. I'm not sure if you can tell how red my face is right now, and I've just driven home, which took like 15-20 minutes, and it's still this red. Like, oh my goodness, that class literally just took my soul. It was so hard, but like so rewarding. I'm tired now, but I feel like in a little bit I'll feel really good. So today's class was a cardio-based class. Basically, there was 3 different pods, so 3 different stations. In each station, there was 3 different exercises, and you did each exercise 4 times before you moved on. So you did 20 seconds of work, 10 seconds rest, and then you did the same exercise, 20 seconds, 10 seconds rest, 4 times, and then you switched right into the second exercise. It's the exact same thing, so another 4 rounds, and then you switch into the third exercise, another 4 rounds, and then you do the whole thing again. And then once you've done all that, so it ends up being like 24 sets, then you take a whole minute of rest. And then you move on to the next pod, and then the next pod. All right, I'm here, ready to do class number 6. It's called Romans. So yeah, let's get it. Here to give you guys my review of the Roman class. So the Roman class was definitely a lot more resistance training. How it worked is there was 3 different pods, so 3 different stations. Within each station, there was 3 different exercises. You would do the exercise twice, and then move to the next one, do it twice, then move to the next one, do it twice, and then repeat the whole thing. And then you'd move on to the next pod. And they were all 35 seconds on, 25 seconds off throughout the entire circuit. So that's kind of how it worked. It was definitely a burner. I feel like it was an overall burner. Like you hit your chest, you hit your back, you hit your glutes, your hamstrings, your legs, you name it. It was definitely an overall resistance-based program. All right, I have made it for my 7th class of this YouTube vlog. I'm excited to do my final class of documentation of this whole process. And today's class is called T10, so wish me luck. Here I go. It's actually quite advanced, so you can do everything on your phone. So this is the F45 app. Oops. If it'll work for me. And basically it shows, so today is Friday, September 6th, so I'm doing the T10 class, so that is what I'm signed up for. I've also signed up for Saturday's class, 9 o'clock a.m. Hollywood. And then next week I signed up for the Monday class, the 5:30 class on Tuesday, and the Wednesday class. So basically you just go in it, you click it, and then you'll click book class. And you can also book multiple, so you could book like a few weeks at a time. Finished and wrapped up all the classes that I'm going to do for this week. So I did 7 different classes. Today was called T10, and it was definitely a cardio resistance training hybrid, and it was quite challenging. Basically, it was 10 different exercises. You do every single exercise, and then you do it again 4 whole times. And it is 40 seconds on, 20 seconds off for the whole thing. So it was very challenging. All right, I have finally finished all 7 classes for my very first week trial at F45, and I wanted to dive now into my thoughts. I'm just gonna divide it into pros and cons to make it easy to follow, and let me get right to it so I don't bore you with the details. So let's go into pros. So pros, the very first one is gonna be, I think one of the #1 pros is that it's very efficient. So you're gonna go in, you're gonna do a 45-minute class, you're gonna leave. You don't have to think about what you're doing. You're basically, everything's laid out for you. You have a time that you have to be there for. So it's definitely incorporates that level of commitment where you can't like not go. So it makes you have a meeting or a date with yourself to work out. Also very fast, quick, efficient, because the workouts are only 45 minutes. I feel like a #1 concern that people have when they're trying to, improve their fitness is they don't feel like they have the time. So with this type of program, you definitely have time. Even if you just utilize 3 classes a week for 45 minutes, that's a really great start. So that's #1. Another pro is gonna be that there is absolutely no mirrors within the facility. I think this is great because I think a lot of times when you're having bad body image days and you go to a gym and you see yourself in the mirror, it can make you have a bad day, or you're focused more on how you're looking or what other people are doing than yourself. So within this program, you really have no time to focus on anyone but yourself. You're literally just focusing on the exercise you're doing and doing it as hard as you can until that buzzer or that sound goes off and you move to the next station. So it's very much a judgment-free in terms of yourself. You're not focusing on anything, but you're focusing on yourself and how you can push yourself harder. And I just love that about it. Another thing is that their classes are very challenging. Like, I am in pretty good shape and I was finding them very, very challenging, which I think is awesome. And I also find there's a lot of room for growth within these classes. So you can either lift heavier, or you can do more reps within that time frame, or you can not get as fatigued after the thing. So there's just a lot of room to improve, and I think that's very motivating. And I think because you're constantly going to see yourself getting stronger and that you're going to be able to do more within the classes, it's going to definitely motivate you to keep going and to push yourself. Another thing is that they have definitely created a community within this F45 program. So not only do you feel a team sense of atmosphere when you go there, it's a very encouraging, motivating environment, and it's definitely, you do definitely feel a community sense, which I really like, because you feel like you're a part of something, where when you're just working at your normal gym, sometimes you don't get that aspect of it. So I think that's definitely a pro in terms of these fitness classes. So another pro would be the fact that they give you incentives to keep you working hard and keep you going to classes. So every class you do, you collect points, and eventually the points lead to free things like a hat, a t-shirt, a towel, and even eventually, if you do so many, it leads to a free week at F45, which I think is awesome. There's also a lot of challenges that go on. So there are 8-week challenges where they award a winner to 1 female and 1 male. So again, just ways to keep yourself accountable and keep yourself motivated and pushing yourself. And they also have heart rate monitors where you can set up and you can track your heart rate while you're doing the class. It'll be on a board and actually list in order whose heart rate is the highest. So it's kind of like a way to add that competitiveness into a class. And you also collect points from that, and then your heart rate tracking thing will be sent to your phone, so you can keep an eye and monitor your progress through that. So another thing that is a pro is that I find the class is very easy to follow. So everything is visually laid out. They have screens which show you exactly how the exercises work, what you're doing. It's very simple to move. You basically move just from one station to the next. So everything's very laid out in an easy to follow manner, which I think is great, because a lot of times when you're working out and you don't really want to have to be thinking even more. So it's just easy to follow, easy to dive right into. If that's the case, like I dove right into the classes and I didn't feel like I wasn't really sure what I was doing. I felt like things were very straightforward and very easy to follow. All right, let's dive into the cons. So cons, I think the #1 con of this program, and when I ask a lot of other people, seems to be the limiting factor in why they don't sign up, is that the cost. It's $200 a month, give or take, plus tax, to sign up for F45, and that gives you limited access to the facility. But still, $200 a month for a lot of people isn't necessarily within their budgets or within their means, so it can be a little bit pricey for people. And I think that's one con I would give to the program, is that it's just a bit costly, especially when you compare it to other gym facilities. But if you counter in the fact of how the classes work and what you're doing and what you're getting, I feel like I can justify it, but for some people, they just don't have the means to do so. So I also feel like you have to be in relatively good shape or have some experience with training before you dive into a program like this. You have to have experience with how to perform certain exercises. You can't really just dive in and know how to do a deadlift or a squat, for example. So I think it's important that you have some experience with these basic lifts just so you know what you're doing and you don't injure yourself. So I think that's another thing. It's like, I wouldn't suggest this program for a beginner. I think it's a little bit too challenging, and I also think you do need to have some experience with lifting and resistance training and some of these basic exercises before you dive into a program like this. There are coaches who are giving you instruction and watching your form and correcting you, but there's 2 coaches, 1 or 2 for an entire class of 27. So you know you're not getting constant critique, and if you're struggling with the form, it's going to take away from you actually focusing on the workout and performing the workout to the best of your ability. Another con I would say is that there is a potential wait list for classes. So it seems, in my experience from my first week trial, the only wait list that it seemed that they had was for the Saturday morning class, which makes sense. A lot of people want to work out Saturday morning for the Hollywood class, but anytime I'd sign up a few days prior, I didn't have any problems. So I feel like as long as you sign up quick enough in advance, but if you're trying to sign up last minute in advance, you're not likely to get within one of those classes, which can be a bit frustrating, especially if you are paying for the program and you want to go to those classes. And last but not least, I would say that a con of it is that it's quite intimidating. I was very intimidated before going to the classes. My friends were quite intimidated before going to the F45 classes. So I think that's one thing, is that it's just a bit intimidating because you know it's going to be challenging. You don't really know what to expect. But let me tell you, once you go there, it's not intimidating, but I would say that's definitely a con leading to maybe potentially wanting to do a class or whatnot. So other than that, overall, I had an extremely positive experience with F45, and I ended up signing up because I just really enjoyed it, as you can probably tell throughout this video. And I'm just really happy that I gave it a chance, and I'm excited to see how I progress in the future. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope it was helpful. I hope that if you are going to an F45 class, this gave you some insight into how it works. And if you did enjoy it, make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe. And thank you guys. I shall see you later.